is I'm not very expressive when I read books, but this book I'm like flipping through pages. Yeah, this book is certainly an experience. Everybody. Good morning, y'all. My name is Liz, and you're watching For Booking Out Loud. And today I am going to start my reading vlog, I guess, for House of Leaves. This is going to be an interesting one because if you've seen any of my previous videos, this is not a book I'm particularly excited for. It scares me. Point blank. This is a book I am kind of nervous about for various reasons. But I am embarking on this journey and I'm going to take you along with me to see how it goes. I did start it last night and I'm only about 20 so pages in it, chapter 3. And I knew it was going to be an interesting book. Yeah, 20 pages. I knew it was going to be an interesting book, but I didn't realize, I guess, how interesting and weird it truly was. I've read a book, I don't even know if I want to say similar, but in a format similar-ish to this, The Princess Bride. Not remembering the author's name, but The Princess Bride is in a similar format where you have the traditional story in the text, right? And then it'll have footnotes that go on for pages that really have nothing to do with the book. And if I'm reading this correctly, within 20 pages, it's going to be in a similar context to that, but more, right? So this is a book. Again, if I'm reading this right, I know it's going to take me on a journey about a house that messes with the people who live in it, right? And so you have the story about, I believe, the first person who lived in the house, at least within this story. And then you have a story about, maybe it's a family that lives in the house. And then you have the story of the blind man who comes across their account and he's retelling it in the main book. And that's Zappano. Oh, God. It's in here somewhere. Oh, God. Like I said, we'll see. Zampano. Because he discovers their records, right? And then you have Johnny Truant, who introduced the book, and he is one of the footnote people who go on for pages. And then I believe you have the editors, who are also one of the footnote people who go on for pages. I don't know. Again, there's like 3 layers to the story and I'm just getting into it, only 20 pages in. Something that I find very particular, I don't know if I meant to do this, but I got a full color edition, which I didn't realize when I got it, but some of the words are highlighted in blue, like house. So every time I come across these words, and I'm pretty sure they're in the index too now, every time I come across some words, they're like subtly in blue, which in itself is kind of disconcerting. When you read a book, you're like, oh, all of the words are going to be in black. No, not in this case. And it's just really interesting, to say the least. I mean, even on the back, right? Even on the back, you have some words in blue. And I think in this case, it's just house. So that's where I'm at. Very interesting. And we shall see where it takes me. I'm hoping to get to 50 or 100 pages before today is done. We'll see. But I need to get to today and we'll just continue on. I hope you have a lovely afternoon. So it is a little bit later in the evening than I wanted to update you on, I think it's my second day reading this book. Maybe it's the third day. I've already lost track. I wanted to update you sooner, but this is the time that you got, and the lighting is a little bit horrible, but such is life. But House of Leaves, this is where I'm at in the book. It says I'm on chapter 6, page 74. But honestly, I'm going like back and forth to these pages and these pages so much, these pages, that I feel like I've read over 100 pages at this point, but who knows? This is just such a weird book. I knew it was a descent into madness for multiple people, and the book is a reflection of that and how you read it. But I never really, I guess, visualized that or comprehended it until I started reading this book. I mean, even just this last chapter, I'm reading some letters in the back of the book, and I'm like churning the book, trying to figure out different ways to read it, and just, I don't know. It's been curious, and I thought I was going to hate, I guess, Chance, one of the people who was doing the footnotes, because it's really abrupt as you're going back and forth from kind of the main story to the footnotes of the footnotes. However, as I'm going through it, going back and forth through the story, I'm kind of, it's really beautiful, honestly, how this author, Danielewski, but how this actual author has crafted this book where you're fully engaged in all of the storylines and how they all sort of relate. And there's like 3 or 4 going on in here. It's ridiculous. And it's just, yeah. And I'm just really curious to see how much more I'm gonna enjoy it, I guess, because it's gonna keep going on. And I know, like, I'm not anywhere near how much more it can be, because I'm still on theoretically a pretty traditional read, and then it's gonna get weirder and more crazy, I guess, as the characters get more and more insane. Yeah. But looking at it too, especially kind of observing what the future is going to hold, I'm really glad I got this full color edition. I don't know if they even produce black and white editions anymore, but I think it's going to help in the future as I read this. I don't know. I just don't know. This book is a little bit intense, honestly. And it's a lot more slow going than I thought it would be. I guess don't pride myself as a fast reader, but I know I am a fast reader. But to be 2 or 3 days into it at 74 pages shows you like how much you have to pay attention to the passages. I mean, I just finished a passage too that was all about the Greek myth of Echo, and like it goes on, and it like you get, at least I got really, really bored going through it, but then you realize like there's a reason he's going on about Echo. And then like there was some math stuff in it about just the purpose of echoing. Like it wasn't just about the Greek myth of echoing. Like the echo was an important part of the how. Like this book messes with you. That's all I'm going to say. This book messes with you, and I just know it's going to mess with me even more. So we'll see. Wish me luck as I continue this, and hopefully I'll still be excited to read this next time I update you, which hopefully will be tomorrow night. I go back to school tomorrow, and we'll see how tired I am. First day after spring break, it's always a fun thing. But have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Ignore the hair. But it is, oh gosh, I think it's been about a week since I updated anything on House of Leaves, and I do apologize about that. As you can still see, I'm working my way through it. It's been a process, to say the least. I mean, you have some pages that have like one line on them, and then you have others where I think I tabbed it, where it was like, I don't know. It's insane, right? And I knew that going in there, where you're like reading 3 stories at once on one page and you're trying to keep track of it. And can I just add, I'm thinking, like, I'm pretty sure on some footnotes that I am missing a footnote, or like it skipped a footnote. And that just might be me, or it might actually be the book. And at this point, I don't know. I just don't know. And I'm 98% certain the book itself is trying to put that out there as the reader. Like, you are trying to be just as insane as the people in the book, right? I mean, there was a point in the book where it was like, see Exhibit A at the back of the book. So I go to the back of the book and I'm trying to look at Exhibit A, and it's like, oh, not there. I'm like, you choice word for making me go looking for this and just for it not to be there. And that was a choice. That was a choice that this author made. And I can't fault him, because it's genius. It really is. I mean, you are, first of all, just reading this book, enjoying yourself, and then you're subtly getting into the story. And I didn't think, in all transparency, I didn't think I was going to like the story. And then I do. I'm invested into this story. I'm invested into the mystery, both mysteries, might I add. And now I'm like trying to figure it out and trying to read it. I mean, there's some points where I'm like literally like reading the book like this, reading it upside down, and you're just, it is truly driving me insane. And I'm not even fully invested into this book like some people are, because being realistic, some people spend hours and hours literally diving into this book, and I know I'm missing things, and I'm still enjoying myself to the extent that I can. Because being realistic, I am also hating myself for reading this book. I mean, like I said, it's been a week, and I do go through books rather fast, right? I mean, in the span of starting this book, I think I've finished 4 other books, right? But I think the last time I updated you, I was like 20 pages in, and now I'm, at least in the traditional sense, I'm 340 pages in. But at the same time, you have to remember, I've read probably half of this back part, and so I really don't know when I'm going to finish. And again, some pages are completely empty and others are so full. I should really film myself more reading this book too, because I'm not very expressive when I read books, but this book, I'm like flipping through pages very fast. And like I said, I'm reading them in a very weird manner. So that's on me. And this vlog probably isn't going to be as much fun, because it's probably just going to be me talking to you about this rather than me filming myself reading it, and that would have been more fun. So apologize in advance, but it's just, again, I just didn't believe it going into this book that it would be this crazy, and it is. Yeah, that's my update, I guess. I don't know where it's going to go from here. I'm at a point where a lot of things have happened. And this house too. This house. Like, who thinks of a house going crazy and causing others to go crazy? And in itself, it's just genius, because spatial awareness, I'll get to it when I finish this book, but yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm enjoying this book. That's my update. I'm supposedly halfway done. We'll see. But I'm hoping to get a lot more done reading, a lot more done reading grammar, English, bleh. It's 8 a.m. on a Sunday, so we'll just see where the day takes me. But I hope you have a wonderful morning, and I will catch up with you later. Bye. So I did just finish House of Leaves, and yeah, this book is certainly an experience. I did not go into it thinking I would be as invested into this book as I was. And it did take me a very long time to read it, all things considered. But I'm really glad I took my time on this book because it was something else, to say the least. I'm definitely still processing what I just read. And I know for a fact I did not go as deep in this book as I definitely could have. I mean, there's a lot of times, and I think I've mentioned this, it's been a long time since I started this vlog. Apologies. But there's like footnotes that I'm more than 90% sure I missed. And the other 10%, I'm just pretty sure that's the author messing with my head. I'm just going to put that one out there. But this is by far the weirdest book I have ever read in my life. And I don't think I'll read another weirder book. It's just an experience. I mean, there's times where, like, they'll just be falling and you'll have to, like, rotate the book with the characters as they're falling in order to read. And it's disorienting, and it's made to be disorienting because the characters are disoriented. So now you as the reader are disoriented, but you're trying to figure this out. And or like the first time they go in the hallway, it's so much because, like, they're confused, you're confused, everything's everywhere, you don't know where to look, the characters don't know where to go, and you're experiencing this with the characters. And there's just so many different plots going on, and not like the typical, like, one character plot over there, one character plot over there. No, like, different stories entirely. And this author does such a good job keeping your attention on both stories, even though it's like the jumping is ridiculous. And I thought I was going to hate it. I went in like 50 pages into it thinking I was going to absolutely hate this and, like, please go away, Johnny. I want to get back to Navy's story. And it's just, wow. And it is a horror book. I will say that out of the gate. Like, I don't even know if I would call this a mystery because you're experiencing everything with the characters. So you're living the horror with them, if that makes sense, or living the psychotic breakdowns with these characters. And it's just, it's an interesting book. Point blank, it's an interesting book. Even if you don't like horror, I would suggest picking it up if you think you can handle this kind of book. Like, I would definitely say if you get distracted easily while you read, this is not the book for you. Point blank. Like, the way that this book is structured is just, you need to be 100% into this book. And again, I am by no means an expert. I could have given even more of my attention to this book, and I did not. Point blank, I was reading other books while I was diving into this book. I didn't go deep into all of the exhibits or the appendices, but I appreciated what I did when I read this book. Yeah. I'm sure there's a ton of videos and blogs out there deconstructing this book in depth, and I will be sure to explore those after I make this video, mostly because I don't want to be regurgitating their theories or their what have yous, because this is just an interesting book. And I'm really vague right now because I don't want to ruin anything. I went into this book really just knowing it was about a house, and you're diving into a psychotic breakdown with characters when there's multiple viewpoints, and it's a very interesting book. And that's all I want to leave you all with, because I thought that was wonderful going into this book, and then just the book messing with you is part of the experience, and the stories playing out as they are is also part of the experience. So yeah, House of Leaves, to say the least. I do recommend it. I highly recommend it, actually, especially if you are looking for something new to experience in a book format, I guess. Pick it up if you're curious. But I hope you enjoyed this vlog, and I hope you got something out of it. I will see you next time. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this.